Today I will be talking about my 5-star predictions. I have 5 books here on this list that I'm going to talk about. 4 of them I have on my physical TBR and 1 of them is on my Kindle. The first book I'm going to start with is my Kindle book, and that book is Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Faerie Abike Emide. I read her other book, Ace of Spades, about probably like a year and a half ago, and I devoured it. It was so good, so fast paced. I loved the characters. I loved how suspenseful it felt. She genuinely has such a good way of putting the suspense into every scene and just like this eerie feeling that shit was gonna go wrong throughout the entire book. And I loved the way that the story played out. I think it was a fantastic book. One of the best YA dark academias out there for sure. And I can't wait to get to this one. Where Sleeping Girls Lie is about a character named Sade, and I believe that she is homeschooled and then ends up going to a boarding school for the first time. And her first night there, her roommate Elizabeth disappears mysteriously without a trace. Don't chew my wires. Bad boy. After her roommate disappears, Sade gains the attention of this clique of girls that call themselves the Unholy Trinity. It's giving me Mean Girl vibes, and I'm so excited to read a book that is like a suspenseful dark academia with a clique that's like bitchy, like the Mean Girls. I'm really excited for that. I think it's going to be a fun, fast-paced read, and I can't wait to get into it. The next book I'm going to talk about is The Lies of Lamora by Scott Lynch. This was actually a gift from my friend Danny for my birthday, I think last year. I lied. It says she sent this to me in January of 2023. So I don't know why she sent it to me when that's not my birthday. Thanks, Danny. I'm really excited to read it, but I don't know why you sent it to me in January. I can't remember what the reasoning was. This book is about a character named Locke, and all that I know about this book is that Locke has this infamous reputation surrounding him. I believe that people call him the Thorn. I think the Thorn of Comor is what it is. And the Thorn is supposed to be this swashbuckling sword expert extraordinaire who causes a lot of trouble for rich people because he robs them. But unlike Robin Hood, he does not rob from the rich and give to the poor. He actually keeps all of the money for himself and his tight-knit group of thieves. And I'm really excited to read a book that has anti-heroes in it, essentially, where they're not necessarily good guys. I believe Locke and his band of thieves end up getting somehow entwined into this war. There's like a murderous game. It has to relate to the war in some way. That's all I know. I genuinely don't know much about the plot at all, but I'm really excited to get to this one. So thanks again to Danny for sending it to me. The next book on my 5-star predictions list is The Stardust. I was doing so good. The next book. I'm losing it. Okay. Hold on. Regain composure. Now I have the giggles. Shit. The next book on my 5-star predictions list is The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. I'm so excited for this. One, because the cover is gorgeous, and they say not to judge a book by its cover, but I feel like, you know how people also say the eyes are the window to the soul? The cover is the window to the book soul, okay? And if the cover is this gorgeous, then the inside has to be gorgeous too, right? That makes sense. If you don't think it does, you're wrong. This book is about a midnight merchant. I believe her name is Luli Al-Nazari, and she collects and hunts down illegal magic, I believe. I don't know if it's magic items or if magic is like a corporeal thing in this world. I have no idea. I do know that the Sultan. She saves the life of a cowardly prince, and the Sultan asks her to hunt down a lamp for him, which obviously gives gender bent Aladdin vibes. I'm really excited to see the magic system in here because I'm so curious about if she's hunting magical items or if magic itself is a corporeal being that she can somehow, like, you know, put it in a jar or something like that. Like, I'm so excited to see how the magic plays out in here. The next book on my list is Malice by John Gwynne. I read his other series, The Shadow of the Gods and The Hunger of the Gods, and those are 2 of my favorite books of all time. His writing is phenomenal. The way that he takes a character through an interpersonal journey and so much growth from the beginning of the book to the end of the book builds up so subtly in those books, and you don't even notice the change until suddenly at the end everything makes sense and you see the change happening in the character. And not to mention, the plot itself was mind-boggling. Extremely epic world, fantastic world building. I loved his descriptions. I felt like I was in the story as a fly on the wall, just watching it all happen. I felt like I could hear the sounds of battle. It was incredible. Literally, I'm such a John Gwynne fangirl after reading those 2 books, and I'm so excited for this one. This book is about a young boy named Corbin who is determined to become a warrior and make his family proud of him. I'm not really sure what happens after Corbin becomes a soldier, if he does or doesn't, but I know that this book also contains a war that has been going on for like millennia or centuries. Which one is 1,000? Is it millennia? I think it's millennia. I do know that this book contains a war that has been going on for like a millennia, and there are giants involved. I think there might be dragons in the form of worms. I also think there are angels and demons that like clash on the battlefield. And all I know about this is that everyone who reads it loves it. I've never heard someone read this and say anything negative about it, and I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to read this that I already have all 4 books in the series, but I'm also terrified to read it because what if I don't like it? Like, I feel like because I love his other 2 books so much that this one is really scary because I just want to love it as much as I love the other 2. So fingers crossed for me, but I think this is going to be 5 stars. And the last book I have on my 5-star predictions list today is The Sword of Kagan by M.L. Wang. I have heard so many rave reviews about this book, and somehow I still have no idea what it's about. I just read the back a little bit. I don't want to read too much of it and spoil myself for anything, because sometimes summaries just give you a little too much information. What I can glean from the summary is that this follows 2 characters, one of whom is a mother and the other I believe is a 14-year-old boy. I think they are actually like mother and son. I know that the son strives to master the fighting technique that is part of his family's legacy and help defend the homeland. I believe the mother has lived a life so far where her entire identity has been motherhood and being a wife. I believe that she used to be really experienced with the sword in her youth, and she's determined to be a good housewife and a good mother and be there for her family. But I think that there are circumstances that happen in this book that make her have to pick the sword up again. And I have heard so many people say that the mom in this book is an absolute badass, and her personal journey that she goes on is incredible, and she's one of the strongest female characters they've ever read from. And that's really intimidating because I just feel like I have such high expectations for her as a character already. I'm also really excited because this is a standalone. I tend to read mostly series, so I'm not sure if the fact that it's a standalone will hinder my enjoyment of it at all, because I do tend to love getting to spend more time with characters throughout multiple books. But that being said, I do think that I'm gonna love this. Everything about this ticks those buzz. Everything about this ticks those Everything about this ticks those buzzword boxes for me, so I'm really excited to read it. I'm equally nervous and excited for this one, as is the case with almost all of the books on this list. So these are all the books on my 5-star predictions list currently. Once I read these 5, I will do another list with updates to if my predictions were correct, and then add new 5-star predictions that I find. That's all for this video. Tell me about your 5-star predictions in the comments. Also tell me about the last 5-star book that you read so I can look it up and add it to my TBR list. And if you made it to the end of the video, leave a star emoji in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye!